Hey everyone, it's Dr. H, your friendly war game guy at the Air Command Staff College. Here to give a quick introduction to the JFACC. This doesn't cover everything you need to be a JFACC. We're going to talk about each one of these things in depth, um, in terms of products, in terms of roles. So don't worry if you if you watch this video and say, "Oh man, I feel like there's so much I need to know." There's more coming. There's more to say. Don't worry about it. But let's start with the responsibilities of being a JFAC. So you're looking at air forces and how to employ them in the game to accomplish JFC objectives. So you'll advise the commander on how to deploy air forces, how to use air forces on apportionment of air forces. These are all things that you'll advise your commander about. You'll also, develop the COP and build the COP with reference to air forces and basing. So everybody's going to be contributing the COP. What you're contributing is is the current situation about air power. What is the situation with the air forces? Um, you'll have to develop a joint air CONOPS, turn by turn. How are you going to use air forces to accomplish objectives? We'll talk about this a little bit more in depth. You get this approved by the JFC. You'll need to provide mutual support to other functional commanders. So as everybody's going to be supporting each other, obviously. In order to accomplish it, we all have to work together. People will be supporting you in achieving your objectives. You will also be supporting others in achieving their objectives. And it's important to maintain mutual support amongst everybody pulling in the same direction. You'll also be made the AAMDC, the Area Air and Missile Defense Commander. So you'll be responsible for organizing air and missile defense and understanding how it functions in the JOA. Right, that's part of your job. You'll also conduct air operations in the JOA. Right, so you'll not just plan, but you'll execute the actual game with the actual game pieces, the airplane of the JOA, and then you'll synchronize fires in the JOA, both by providing inputs to the JIPTL and by conducting strikes. Right, you'll have two things that you're going to try to do. Right, if you have targets that you need to strike for your scheme maneuver that you can't hit, put them on the JIPTL. And if you have excess fires and you have the ability to conduct strikes to support other commanders, take a look at the JIPTL and see what it is you're going to be striking. Start with the highest priority targets so you can hit and move your way down. So, what are the products that you own? Well, you're going to produce turn by turn in air CONOPS, right? This is your plan for how you're going to use air forces within the JOA, within your joint air operations environment. So, what are you going to do? What's your plan? What's your main effort? What are your supporting efforts? How are you going to apportion your forces? What are you going to assign to each role, to each job? In order to understand, we'll talk a little bit about you consult. Your guidance comes from the op order, it comes from the sync matrix, and you'll get this plan, this concept of operations approved by the JFC each turn. Now, to support your CONOPS, you're going to create decision support matrices. These decision support matrices are what you are going to do when the things don't go according to plan. Remember, you've got yourself, but you've also got the enemy action. You've got random chance to deal with. So things probably won't go according to plan. Almost can certainly guarantee they won't. So you want to spend some time using the skills you learned from co-analysis and prepare decision support matrices for when things go awry. That way you don't have to spend 30 minutes trying to figure out what to do. You know what to do. It's right there. You've already thought about it. You go to the decision support matrix. It tells you what you've already decided to do. Maybe make a quick adjustment. Go out and execute. Right? So your decision support matrices are to help you in decision making in executing the CONOPS when the CONOPS things no longer make sense in the CONOPS. So what should you consult every turn? You should take a look at the op order, understand the op order, understand the plan. Remember, the op order details from beginning to end of the operation. So we should know where we are in the CONOP, understand the CONOP, get our big picture objectives from the CONOP. From the op order for our CONOP. Then you should also understand the sig matrix. Each turn, the JC is going to produce a new sig matrix that's going to give the turn objectives for each component. So you should understand your objectives. You should understand other people's objectives, and then devise a plan to accomplish your objectives, but understand how you synchronize, with other pieces, with other component commands. Or component commands. The gyptle, right? Remember that you're going to add to the gyptle, and you're also going to look at the gyptle. So if you have targets that you need to strike to carry out your scheme and maneuver, then add them to the gyptle. If you can't hit them yourself, you need somebody else to hit them, add them to the gyptle. Or other people will look to you. They have things that they need struck that they can't hit with their own assets. So you should look to the gyptle and understand what it is you can hit. So if you find yourself, hey, I've got excess fires, I can do some strikes. Take a look at the gyptle. Highest priority target is this one, and so forth. Or alternatively, hey, I need things struck. Put them on the gyptle, and have other people help you. The other thing that you consult is the COP, the Common Operating Picture. We talked a little bit about adding things to the COP with reference to air forces, so keeping everybody up to date on air forces. But you'll also consult the COP to understand the overall state of the world that you're trying to affect as part of your operations. So what are some rules to know? We're not going to go over these each right this second. Each one of these is going to get their own video. You'll be able to study those videos and learn your pieces, but it's basically the air stuff. You know, how to do air-to-air combat, how to get air superiority, what the pieces mean, how to conduct strikes, what those strikes mean, those sorts of things, how SAM batteries work, those kinds of things. That's the big step. So it's stuff with reference specifically to the air and the air pieces that you're going to really need to know really well. Again, like you'll have adjudicators to deal with the chart reading and all of that, but you still need to know how to read the pieces, how the pieces move, how to get where you're going, and how to do what you want to do with those pieces. And we'll go into more depth with the rules later. Keep hitting the right button. There we go. Schedule. We are going to do most of the air stuff in the mornings for the war game. And so you will have a little bit of time to plan. You're going to go out, you're going to execute, and then you will come back, have just a second or two, have a little bit of time to start planning, to update yourself, get ready to go out and do another quick piece of it in the strike phases right after lunch, and then plan the con ops and to plan for the next day. So remember, you're on early. So you're going to do a lot of your planning the day before, come in the morning, finish out your plan, execute your plan, be ready to conduct the little bit that you have left, and then you're going to spend most of your time planning for the next day. That's really your big task, right? Is really going to be, you're going to think a lot about Wednesday on Tuesday, because you're going to execute pretty early Wednesday the plan that you laid out the day before. So keep that in mind, right? This is a rule that's going to require a lot of thinking about tomorrow, about today. You're also going to have to think about how to use limited air resources, what you're going to hit, what you're going to use to help other commanders with, and what you need to hold back for your own objectives. So, complicated job, well worth thinking about, well worth doing, I think, in my opinion. Anyway, that's the quick rundown. There's more to come. But for now, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. There we go.